because I could say that to a dude, nobody cares. Say it to a chick, everybody's up in arms. I wouldn't rape you, you're fat and ugly.
Yeah.
Believe all women.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Skibbity bop.
Don't believe anybody. Everybody's lying bag of crap.
Whoop.
Damn, that
Wildly
made me
Uninteresting podcast. Episode 100. Foundly within the realm of triple digit. And I'm gonna
Fucking centennial up in this bitch.
Today is the day both of you die.
On to 1,000.
I thought about
you
pushing
murdered.
it 100 times, but I figured that'd be
I
nice.
was hoping you would. It's like you got about 92 to go.
I'll kill you both.
I'm so
Where you
excited.
stand. Sit.
Yeah.
That's
No.
good.
Welcome back to the show. We have the beautiful Casper and Galaxy on the show with us at number 100.
That's the only bit of extra work we put into this episode.
Was just bringing
This
that.
is just bringing Casper.
I did all kinds of shit.
We were gonna do something special, but when it comes
No.
down to it, no episode is special. They're all special.
They're all equal.
Oh, I was thinking
Okay.
they're all equally unimportant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would we change shit up now? Who are we to change shit up now?
I find
You
I'm
wanna be
naturally
fancy?
just drawn to talk to you instead of you.
That's probably
It's
the
'cause
way
I'm
your
a
neck
girl.
goes.
Well, I think it's because he has everything over here. Like he's just got a mountain of shit.
I guess if you were anybody else, I would stick with the girl comment, but no, you're probably right.
Maybe it's because I always think about putting this somewhere else, like in front of the guest. Would be awesome because they would be like, "Am I supposed to be a sound person too?"
You're in charge.
Play with these knobs.
Always wonder about that, man. No, but yeah, welcome to the show, and welcome our people who listen to our show. We thank
Yeah,
you for
welcome,
coming up and
Seth.
showing.
Oh, hey,
Sorry,
Showing
Dr.
up.
Sexwoods.
You know, somebody asked me that the other day. They were like, "How many people watch your show?" Like they were being an asshole.
Count the views, bitch.
Yeah. And I was like, well, this many people and this many people subscribe on that. I was like, but then I was like, you have an audio portion where people listen. So you can't like look at one subject and be like,
Right.
oh, well, you only have like 20 views and then anywhere from 20 to like 80 views on each video.
I still wouldn't expect 20. The fact that more than 5 people listen is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, and the
Well-
crazy thing is like YouTube isn't what YouTube used to be. Like they caught on to the fact that like it was easy to make money back in the day. Now you have to have like 1,000 subscribers plus like a certain amount of views per hour on your video before you can even hit the monetize button, before you can ever start making a penny off the shit. So it's super hard to get your shit on the thing. And then, of course, a lot of people capitalize about how to tell you how to make your thing big, even though their thing isn't like watched at all. And it's like,
So I think it was like how to get 1 million views and it
yeah,
like less than 1,000.
yeah. on that video. Yeah, it blows me away.
So what was that person's like point? Why'd they ask how many?
I think it was
Views and shit.
because I used to work with them, right? And they were higher up, and I would be like, well, I can't work this certain day. And they were like, why? You're going to go do comedy or a podcast? That's not going to pay the bills. I'm like, I don't know if that's why we do it.
Like, bitch, my bills are paid. I'm so I'm not doing this to pay my bills.
I
More
think
views than your bitch ass.
I think too many people get hung up when they do things. Let's say it's art or music or anything. They get too hung up on how do I make money from this from the beginning. I think if you start something from the beginning, like, oh, how can I make money from this? You'll never be shit at it because that's what you're focused on. You know what I mean?
I learned that Van Gogh only sold one painting while he was alive. So if he had done that shit for the money, then we wouldn't have all kinds of glorious art.
Yeah, I know. That's I never knew that until I read it the other day that Van Gogh was a broke bitch when he died.
Hell yeah.
Broke ass bitch. But now he's all good. Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
So everybody should take that as an indicator. Don't worry about how much money you're making on it. Maybe try to make more, but don't be a bitch about it.
Yeah.
We have a
But-
spill here for everybody that isn't
Anybody-
watching. If you're just listening, Adam spilled shit everywhere
Which, you know what?
on this half of the table.
You know what baffles
Realistically,
me
it's
is
about a
it took
quarter.
this long to spill something. Usually, I mean, we've been
I
through
think
100
about it
episodes.
every single time.
100 episodes, and nothing has been spilled
Yeah.
except for today, and it had to be me with all the mounting equipment that's over here.
Yeah, and some
that
of
we
them,
just
there
talked
have
about.
been drinkings going on.
I know,
Mm-hmm.
which blows me away.
Captain Sober Adam over here
Yeah, man, I'm getting it
just
cleaned up.
pissing
Though.
on the table.
But
piss on the table.
I think a lot of artists, a lot of musicians go to the grave broke, which is sad. But maybe you're
Bury
not
me
shit
with
until you
my
die.
money.
Like I always think about like Nirvana. Would Nirvana ever have been as big as they are if Kurt Cobain never died the way he did?
No.
You know what I mean?
They would have still had an influence and made money, but they wouldn't live on in the mythological kind of way that they do.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a lot of people like that. Jimi Hendrix, don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot of people that get really mad about
I'm
this.
already pissed.
Yes. As much as like a lot of the things he did were like out of bounds, right? He used to pull his guitars apart, put them back together to get a certain sound that nobody else had. He played the guitar, what was it, a right-handed guitar, left-handed,
Yeah.
right? Shit like that, right? He was
And
amazing.
his skills were off the charts, but fuck him.
Yeah. Do you think that he would have been, if the years went on and he just continued to play and stuff and the 60s left him behind, would he have like rode with the punches, or did he capture a moment in history and then die, and then everybody remembers that moment in history like it was the best?
Well, yeah, he died on top.
Yeah. I guess that's how we all need to go out, is just like on top.
Hell yeah.
It's better to burn out or fade away.
Yeah, once you feel like you've peaked, it's time to end it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you gotta. Oh God, I'm starting to see things in terms of dips and rises and shit. Everything's just like a stock ticker now.
Yeah.
It's annoying, but even after you think you've peaked, you could still put out a boss something. Well, I mean, look at Alkaline
Yeah,
Trio.
absolutely,
Because they
yeah.
put out that one fucking shithole album.
I know.
And then the stuff after's pretty boss.
Yeah, it definitely got better.
So if Skiba had killed himself, I don't know.
Would
maybe
they
that'd
be
be
doing
Would
alright.
they have,
Or
or
say-
maybe they would have made better music just without him. Why did I even say that? That's inaccurate. That
Dan's-
would never happen.
Dan's stuff would have ended up being really dark after that.
Yeah.
You know what
That would've
pisses
been
me
glorious.
off? That every time we talk about music, Alkaline Trio pops up.
Because they're fucking
'Cause they're
great.
fucking
They're
great.
a shit
Don't be
band.
stupid. What do you?
They're so fucking
shit.
good.
You don't like Hendrix? You don't like Alkaline Trio? What do you?
I don't
Not
know,
everybody is
man.
that hobo guy.
Oh, Dave
Johnson?
Matthews? No.
No,
Oh, Hobo John.
the actual
That
hobo.
makes more
Yeah.
sense. For a minute there, I was like, yeah, Dave Matthews looks a little homeless. Yeah,
I could see him bumming.
It's fucking awesome.
yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's just not my type. Maybe I need to see him live because I'm not a Misfits
talking
fan
about
at
Alkaline Trio?
all. Yes.
You listen to him though.
No, I know,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's because of you that I listen to. There's certain songs that I like what is it, Car Radio? No, not Car Radio.
Just radio.
Yeah, and then like
Take
Private
my car
Eye.
radio to bathe.
Is Private Eye theirs? Private Eye?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that one. And they have like really good ones. Don't get me wrong, right? But I'm not like all about them.
Jake Dungreen beers.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of bands that I do that. I pick out certain songs that I like, but the rest of their shit's trash. And I'm okay to admit that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Dave Matthews shit that nobody listens to. But you
There's a
mentioned
reason.
ants marching, and everybody's a fucking Dave Matthews fan now. You know what I mean?
Is that the one that's
Nice
wow,
one.
wow, wow, wow? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you know it. You
Know
know
it.
the melody.
No.
It's just in you now. Dave Matthews
Yeah,
is all
he's
up in that.
you, dude.
you
You
know?
got a hobo in your butt.
No, I don't know. But when it comes to music, I think seeing people live will change your mind because I'm not a Misfits fan. I never was and never will be until I saw them in Chicago and I saw like the people that go along with it and how they presented their music. And my God, I'm a fucking Misfits fan. But I still don't listen to them in the car.
Did you see that Dave
rather
Grohl
see-
is a Misfits fan now?
Now?
It's like
Yeah.
he never was.
Like he wasn't. He
Oh.
didn't like him.
Wow.
And he said his daughter was like, just listen to him again. And he
Hell
did.
yeah,
Now he's like,
dude.
fuck yeah, dude, they're cool.
You really do have to give some bands a few different times, like chance, and listen to them at different points in your life. Because I've had a lot of bands that I hated and listen to now. So
Yeah. So I could just discovered this band Matchbox 20.
Ever heard of them?
No.
it's awesome.
I had a guy I worked with one time. You remember when like Goo Goo Dolls were big, right?
Yeah.
And they had all this like heartfelt music and bullshit about like women leaving them and stuff like that. Anyways, this dude's like a country cowboy, hick, wannabe, whatever, out here, and but he dates this chick and he like pours his heart out to this girl, right after his first marriage, pours her heart out to him, and then the girl leaves him. And then he comes to work the next day, and he's like, he's like 45, right? So it was just weird. I was in the van, and he was like, "Have you ever heard this band?" And he throws on Goo Goo Dolls, like 20 years after they had been big.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm in love." And we listened to Goo Goo Dolls for the next 2 or 3 months until he found another girlfriend, and then he stopped listening to him. I'm like, maybe it's what we're going through.
Is that who it was?
No.
Yeah,
He's
it's definitely
like-
what we're going through.
He's like, if you ever listen to the Beatles, I can't believe it. It's crazy.
I found myself like if I'm going through some shit, or if like say I don't know, man, if I'm just going through some shit, right? I'll pick a band. That's how like Hobo Johnson was a time where I was like, I just don't understand shit, and then his music was not understandable. Most people are like, this is trash, but I was like, this is great. Even like Halsey, most people hate that shit, but for some odd reason, the last fucking 3 months,
I think
that's
she
all
won
I've
a
been listening to.
Grammy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I get in like weird
So
moods
not
like
most
that.
people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people.
but
It's the weird moods to get me there. Even like Post Malone, like way back. I think we were in Pikeville the first time I listened to him. Like Pikeville, you know what I
was
mean?
like Parkville.
Pikeville. Just driving around at 3 a.m. in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And
3
I'm like,
a.m. in the
this
morning?
guy. 3
3 a.m. You must be lonely.
That's right.
Fuck all y'all.
Anyway,
All right.
I dig waking up in the middle of the night and then going out for a drive because no asshole is on the road. No assholes, no people, no nothing. You could just drive around for hours and not see a single person until 6 o'clock, and then everybody's racing to work.
there's just
Right.
drunk people and cops at that time, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
And that's fine. I've tried the last like couple months to get pulled over because it's been a very long time since I've been pulled over.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how do I have to hit my brakes, or do I have to like knock a tail light out to get pulled over? I just want to be pulled over just
Knock a
to have the
tail light
interaction.
Just
been a while.
Go out driving in blackface, and then you
You
get pulled
definitely
over
get it.
real quick, and then you go to jail, and they're like, "Oh, you think you funny, huh, kid?" You're like, "No, I was just testing something." And then you get raped.
Yeah, but then the question is, what are you testing? What are you testing? I need to know.
The cops predisposition to pull over black people.
Yeah, dude. All
And
right.
then,
cool.
but then they look at your neck and,
I'm on
and they're
your
like, "Oh,
side."
wait, he's white.
Wait a minute.
We're gonna let you
Wait a
go,
minute.
sir. I'm sorry, I pulled you over." But I don't have insurance. No. You're good. You're good.
You'll get it tomorrow, right? It's okay. I believe you.
But I don't know how people get pulled over. I don't know how I got pulled over so many times when I was younger. Well, I mean, I was like really high all the time, but
They acting a fucking fool.
yeah. I mean, I got pulled over one time, 10 times in 1 week. And my mom was like, how do you still have a license? I was like, I don't know. I was like, but they just keep piling up. And by the time I got out of prison, jail the first time, I had like 15 charges that were mounted up. They were all traffic violations and pills not being in the right bottle and paraphernalia.
Put your Excedrin in the Advil bottle again, boy.
I told you not
last
to do
weekend?
this.
Is that when we went to Lexington or wherever?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, we were on our way there, and we went with, we followed Shelby. Well, we didn't follow her. We kind of met her there,
Yeah.
but we went around this little turn or whatever in this mountainous area, more hills maybe. I don't know. Either way, there was this
Mountainous
car
is a good
coming
description.
like on the other side of the road, and they flashed their lights. I was like, "Ooh, there's a cop!" You know,
Oh.
where's this cop?
Yeah.
She looks to the right. She's like, "Hey, they got Shelby."
The laugh was maniacal.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That was cool. I wouldn't have realized who it was, but she was like, I got her.
That's shitty,
It's
man.
great.
It's real
And all
shitty.
her shit was expired.
Oh, no.
Well, Jesus.
Oh, no. I hate that, dude. When like, especially when if you don't know, and then like everything is like you're gonna get a ticket. Like there's no way they cannot give you a ticket. It's like, well, I guess we're doing this today. Good thing is you don't get like locked up for that anymore. I don't think.
Unless
they let
it's
her
like
go on her way.
excessive.
Yeah, dude. They're just like, all right, I guess. Like,
Like you've been pulled over for this 15 times and you've not taken care of any of it, so we have to lock you up.
I thought it was a 21 strike rule.
the first time I ever learned that, I thought that shit was the most humane thing. Not humane. It was great
Humilitas.
for humanity. I'll say it that
Yeah.
way. Great for humanity. We're on our way back from Florida. I was real young. I was like 19 or 20, and I'm rolling. I can't wait to get home because there's like pills at the house, and I'm like, I was out in Florida, so I'm like, I'm going. And I'm racing down whatever road that is. It's just a straight shot, wide open, and this car comes, and he's blinking his lights like he's trying to get my attention, and I'm like, should I stop or whatever? It didn't dawn on me, and I just hit the brakes because I was like, maybe he needs me, or she needs me, and I hit the brake, and sure enough, there was a cop to the left. I'm like, this is the greatest fucking place I've ever been to. So now I do it for people, and I guess it's just like one of those things that people do on the highway when there's a cop
dude.
just like lurking in the back. Somebody put a meme online. They were like, oh, the cops are here for us and for our safety. Then why are they always hiding? Because they're always like backed up a hill behind something with the speed gun hanging out the window, like behind a bush and shit. And that's the truth.
I
Like,
feel like there was a time, like in the 30s maybe, when the cops were there for us.
yeah,
But
a very short played out
they
time.
discovered that they could make money just setting up speed traps or like roadblocks and shit. And they're like, well, I'd rather make money than help anybody.
You think with all like the war on drugs and the amount of stuff they get from that and pump back into society and money they get off drug dealers and shit, you think they'd be like caked up, but they're not. They just
You
need
say
more money.
caked up?
Yeah,
The fuck does caked up mean?
a lot of money in your
Stacks
pocket.
Oh,
mad
I
fat
don't
Skrilla.
think I've ever heard that.
You're welcome.
Weird.
I know.
You've been away from the streets too long. They don't even know this bitch anymore.
I'm pretty sure this is the first time that's ever happened to me that I didn't know slang. That's nuts.
I'm there for you, dude. I'll keep you on
They
the
must
up and
not
up.
use it in rap.
The sign of a retired OG.
That's right.
A retire-
I gotta get a chain to commemorate my retirement. I guess I could just wear my cat. I'll just keep my cat chain,
Yeah.
my OG cat chain.
My little cat chain. No, but it baffles me the kind of shit. I know back when I was younger, and maybe it was because I was doing
Oh yeah,
crazy
because you're
shit.
almost 31. You're old now.
Yeah, I feel that. That's why.
He's
man,
been younger, bitch.
Haven't we?
That's true.
You're younger right now. Oh, you're younger right now.
You were.
Oh,
You
you're
were.
younger right now.
You
Oh,
were.
You're younger.
I'm older right now.
Oh, you could look at the glass all the way full, motherfucker, or you could look at it half empty or full. Which whenever is not
I'm just gonna
pessimistic.
go drown myself in your bathroom.
Nice.
Yes, please.
But I feel like there was a time maybe that they were there to help. Probably not. But the fact that I got pulled over so many times, you know how many court fees that I had to pay for each one of those
17.
charges? It was a lot, dude. A whole lot. And then I got like trapped in this paper race, right, where they would send me off to Indiana. Then I would, get warrants from Louisville, pick me up in Louisville. Then I'd get warrants in Indiana because I couldn't ever stay out of jail long enough to take care of the paperwork.
Right.
And then a Louisville judge looked at me one time. She was like, what we're doing here is a paper race. How about I let you out for like 3 months and you take care of it.
Yeah.
And if not, you'll come back and do all your time. I'm like, done, dude.
Yeah.
I got out for 3 months and I didn't go back until like a year later.
Awesome.
And then 12 more times after that.
God.
But it's their fault, not mine.
you know,
Oh,
maybe,
they definitely did it to you.
maybe you can't get pulled over now
take
because they're doing like reverse profiling. Like they know that you were in the system for so long and that you've been clean and not running amok for a while. And they're like, well, if we put him back in, he's just gonna fuck shit
They're like, he
up.
looks like
Well-
an ex-hood rat. Let's keep him out.
Answer
Yeah.
me this. There's something else that baffles me, which I know that we live in a commonwealth. If I have a child with Sarah and I leave like a piece of shit, and then she files for child support, I don't pay it. I'm a deadbeat dad. I wind up in the newspaper, right?
Right.
On the list of other deadbeat dads that didn't pay their shit. So, in that instance, what the state does is the Commonwealth, they pick up all that back pay, they give it to the mom.
Right.
Now the state, you owe the state. So now they can lock you up, put out a warrant for your arrest, and they do so. And usually you'll get a year, you get out and you're supposed to pay it, right? What fucking good would it be to lock somebody up because they're not going to be able to pay anything, and by the time they get out, like, it's hard to find a job already, let alone after you get out of jail for a charge of being a whatever that is in the law book, deadbeat dad or whatever.
Why
I
do you
don't know.
keep gesturing at me?
Oh, I just
he does that.
You know, whenever you're like that.
Yeah, and then sometimes you'll think he's about to touch your arm, and then he just doesn't. It's like, why even reach at me?
yeah.
Fucking with my emotions.
Sometimes it's just too far.
No,
it's
but
just not.
It's the whole thing of like, they just want you in debt to them for your entire life.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't care if they get it all back,
Yeah.
but as long as they have the money trickling in,
Mm-hmm.
they're fine.
I don't know
Yeah.
how true this is, but this is like one of those jailhouse like rumors and shit. But
I'm sure-
apparently
I'm sure
the
it's legit.
state, for each inmate, the state gets paid a certain amount.
Right.
So if they can say they get like $120 a day from the government for each inmate they house, right? And then I feed you for a little under, like, say $1.50, right? The entire day for $1.50 over, a course of a lot of inmates. And then like the bed and all that shit and water that it costs to have you, or the sewage and all that shit, right? So let's just say that I spend $30 a day on each inmate, but they give me $120. I make the profit off that. So if I keep you in the system for long enough, like, I'm just making bank off. That's one person just making bank
It's
all
like
the
an
time.
it's like an IRA.
That's a factory farm.
Yeah.
For
Well,
people.
yeah. But
They're
it's,
hooked. They're just a bunch of inmates hooked up to milking machines.
But I mean, to be fair,
feed
they're,
them,
they're
and then they make profits off of them.
they're trying to balance,
Absolutely.
because like they're bringing more people out of poverty, so they're trying to make the prisons nicer. So they're just keeping more people locked in them, and they're just stockpiling this money, and then they're eventually going to have. Yeah, you're right.
They're not gonna. Yeah. I was waiting for. I was like, I see the spin coming, but I'm like, I know this is not gonna happen ever.
No.
Now I've been in some facilities, and after I got out, I've been in some facilities that really, I mean, clean. They had computers, they had tablets, they had schooling, it was just amazing. I was like, I just got locked up in the wrong county apparently, because we didn't have none of that. But that was a rumor I always heard. And then if you become, so that was just like a county inmate, just somebody who gets locked up for a normal charge. But if you become a state inmate and go to a state facility, they actually make more off you, because you are a product of the state. Like, you are property of the state. That number is all you are, right?
Well,
and they
my
make money
God,
off you.
Think about how much commissary, especially if you've got any extended amount of time. The money that they would make from
Do
this
they-
shit has got to be
We're
through
making
the roof.
stacks
I know.
off ramen.
I know for a fact they make a killing off of commissary. I worked in Floyd County on commissary, and commissary inmates were the only ones that got paid. Like, the people who did that were the only ones that got paid, because they had to justify the work and the amount of profit coming in from it, and they had to view you as an employee. Given it was only $10 a week, that was a lot in jail. You know what I mean? But a lot of their shit is funded through. And because that sheriff that ran that commissary said a lot of their shit is funded through commissary alone. And I was like, it's just baffling.
Yeah.
I get it, but then again, I don't. And then like private prisons, stuff like that, and for-profit prisons and stuff, I think they're trying to weed that out. But have you ever
Well, they
seen
say they are.
have you ever seen the motherfucking list of companies that use private prisons? I mean, Starbucks is on the
It's a
list.
lot.
Pfizer's on the list. You name it, it's on. Apple's on the list.
Yeah.
They use these
Inmates.
for-profit prisons to build their shit,
Hell yeah.
and it's just
It's
baffling.
slave labor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
We
essentially
watched
what
a
it
thing that
is.
said that it was technically not considered slave labor if you could prove that person did something illegal, and you could lock them up as an inmate. It was some type of
See,
thing.
I guess we
So-
could use a different title, but they're still paying you 10
That's what
cents
it-
a day.
yeah.
To,
This is some of the shit that Kanye was going on about when everybody was calling him crazy.
yeah.
He's like, here you go. Here's the shit.
I'm
What's
with
happening?
It's all
They're like,
true.
no,
That's
no,
what-
you're
some
crazy,
people-
Kanye.
And people just don't.
I fucking hate that
Most
now.
people are not on that wavelength at all, and Kanye is just so. Everything
Everywhere.
is connected.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like all of his thoughts connect. It's just there's a
Kinda-
lot to it. They're
kinda
not
like
simple
Alex-
concepts.
Yeah.
Kind of like Alex Jones, but more based in
Yeah,
reality.
he's more
and fact.
hinged.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
How dare you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that I
more
like.
hinged,
Yeah.
for
How
sure.
dare you speak ill of Alex Jones, but you get it.
Yes, I get it.
I'm with you. Sarah said something last podcast. If I had watched the thing, I would have made an actual effort to go and vote for Kanye because honestly, I think it has a lot to do with media, has a lot to do with his family and shit. They don't pay attention to him, or they call him crazy. They make him out to be some but he's actually got a fucking great head on his shoulders.
Absolutely.
Y'all motherfuckers are the ones that are crazy.
It upsets me that I ever didn't pay attention to what was going on or listened to him speak and was like, oh yeah, he's just bipolar and needs to be medicated.
think so.
Yeah.
No,
Like he'll have his fits,
yeah.
but if you listen to what he's saying, he's on it.
Yeah, it's always coherent. It always makes sense. And
But people don't want to follow because Kanye's crazy.
yeah, no, not at all. They don't even want to try. Well, and to not sit down and actually listen to someone and just claim that they're crazy is fucking
Yeah.
rude.
It's like people that want to shit on movies but never watch the movie.
never watch them.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck that. It's like I did with Dashboard in high school.
Yeah,
It's like,
dude.
no, fuck that pussy band. You ever listen to them? No.
No, I'm
And then I
not
did.
going to.
And then I did, and they were still a pussy band, but they were a pussy band I
so
liked.
good. They're so good.
So I don't know if you've been following the downfall of Lebanon and Brewitt. Brewitt? Is that how you say
Beirut.
it?
Not even a little.
Fuck.
It's okay.
Ugh.
It's
Like,
all
is,
right.
this a,
Beirut.
is this a coffee story? But
No. So their government apparently they got in a huge amount of debt. They just kept taking out debt to fund themselves. And then they would actually take out more debt to pay the debtors off. And then eventually when the debt ran out, this is long story short, but eventually when the debt ran out that they could take from and pay off, now they were left in a position. Well, after that explosion happened, Beirut's been, in a state. There's millions of people that live over there, and they're literally starving to death. This goes back to what I talk about. We wake up. You don't have to worry about starving to death or a bomb dropping on you in the afternoon. None of that shit, right?
Right.
And
Just a car in your driveway.
yeah, and people the shit people complain about or talk about and shit, and you walk through Kroger and they're like, it's just their fucking worries and stuff. I told Sarah, I said, if something like what's going on in Beirut happened here, right, and if it all crashes, all these motherfuckers that go to Kroger on Sundays and just clog up all the aisles and talk and fucking have their kids and they're yelling at their fucking wives and stuff. All those people are going to be the same. They're going to be starving to death and dying because they don't know how to fend for themselves.
That's what I said. It just means to me that there's going to be thinning of the herd. We're going to get rid of some people that don't need to fucking be here anyway. Done. Let's do it.
I know once it's over, it'll be cool, but it'll suck during it.
Yeah, for sure.
If the world happens like it, say if United States happens like it, you think you could make it through without, I guess, you can't go to the grocery store because of the fact that they don't have anything, not because they're not open, because I'm sure they'll try to sell you their last grain of rice.
You
but,
personally, they will not let you in.
but do you think you could survive? I was talking to Sarah. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could survive. I don't know until you know, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm strong-willed enough.
To make it through. That's why I told her. I was
Because
like,
you're fighting against people who are, more aggressive, and
I was thinking
I
that
just couldn't.
that would be an excuse to murder people.
And
that's great.
I mean, I guess if I've got Ian murdering people
Yeah.
for me.
Fuck yeah.
You just handle planting things. I'll take lives.
Yes.
But I mean, even if you have your own property and you have your plants, what's going to prevent someone from stealing everything
Right.
you're growing?
Absolutely.
Booby traps.
Well,
booby
Home,
traps
like,
would
what-
work, maybe.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Home
He
Alone
said,
that shit.
"Home."
I think too, though, when it comes, I told her that I was like, there's going to be a vast majority of people that are very aggressive, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how long aggression will save their life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think in the beginning, they'll be the people that are going further and surviving longer because they're aggressive enough to steal and and push people out of the way to get what they need. But I mean, if they don't learn how to sustain long term, they're gonna run out of stuff they can steal because they stole it all already.
Right. Or they're gonna get murdered by people
So
who
funny.
don't want you to take their shit.
It's like when you're playing a driving game, like a racing game, you know, and you have like the horsepower to go really fast immediately, but like your turning sucks and your braking's horrible.
Everything else.
Yeah, you're
That's
fucked.
all you got.
Hey, it looks good out of the gate, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
And that's when I was looking into it, they said that, and there's a word for it, and I still don't know the word for it or the phrase for it.
Elliptical.
But the only thing that Beirut has to offer is human, whatever.
Cargo.
The only thing that they have to offer is what a human can create,
Right.
which means like a job that you can work, a piece of art that you can create, all that. They don't have any like natural resources, gold mines. They don't have diamond mines. They don't have anything that's resourceful aside from their people. So human collateral, I guess.
So
I'll
they
say it
could,
like that.
like clean things.
Yeah.
So
And
that's-
it's like,
It
They'll
only
have a
gets you.
purely
Country full of
service
janitors.
industry.
yeah, dude, that'd be
It's
awesome.
it's as far as they go with all that. So eventually, I mean, you can't pay anything off with that if you don't produce something like whatever, a laptop, I guess. I don't know
Yeah.
what you could produce that could make you money, but at this point, what they're saying is, and they
Mops.
restrict movement as far as like COVID-19 goes and shit. So you're talking about millions of people that are just literally gonna sit at home and starve to death. But think
I'd
about
like to
that
say-
next time you worry about a stumped toe.
That
You know?
I absolutely would
toe
not
hurts.
survive if I didn't have Adam. If I have no doubt in my mind that we would be fine. But me, maybe for a little while I'll get buck on some people. But after that, I'm just be like, this is too much.
I think you can just do
There's
some
no more
backdoor
drugs.
deals.
I think about, I told her I was driving in the truck, I was like, well, if I'm one of the ones that get taken out, I mean, so be it, right? Because if I'm not strong enough to survive that, like I deserve to be taken out, right? I mean, just on a like aspect for humanity and like rebuilding, if I'm not strong enough to go through a natural disaster or a bombing or something like that, well, then I'm with the rest of the motherfuckers that I complain about on Sunday in Kroger doing what the fuck they do.
And
You
get
know
into the
what I mean?
red zone all the time, taking your field goal. You're not a Super Bowl team.
No, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know until it pops up, see what happens, you know? I'm sure I could grow things. I think I could, but I mean, what if everything is not nuclear?
Yeah.
What if everything is radioactive? That's what, that's the word. What if everything's radioactive? The water, the ground?
Well, then everybody's
everything.
fucked.
Except
And
for
you're gonna eat.
people who have bunkers.
And you're gonna eat bloat fly meat all the time.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It baffles me to think about that, and it baffles me too. It makes me wonder, like through the day, like I can't. If you put it in that perspective, you can't complain about much of anything. Not here. You could if you were over there, but even those people, I don't think complain. They're just worried about where their next meal's coming
But then
from.
if it happens here, you just go to Canada.
But what if they shut their borders down and don't let you in?
Well, you just climb over.
There's not a, like there's no
Done.
wall.
There are fences somewhere.
Then you build a wall and you climb over it.
Yeah.
Because you have
Just
to
to
make
prove
an
a point.
entrance.
Yeah.
It has to be challenging. It's Canada. Build this wall and then climb it.
Man. I don't know. It's worrisome because in what I've done like on Reddit, instead of, because if you pass those videos, the ones from Myanmar and stuff, eventually they get tiresome, right? Where it's just like you're beating a dead horse because I'm not there. I don't know. You're beating a dead horse with these videos because they all seem like the same, and half the time you're shooting a Roman candle into a distance that the camera can't pick up. So I don't even see a military on the other end. Now I'm becoming a non-believer of it all, right? So I was like, here's what I'll do. I'll go to the not safe for work section of Reddit, and I'll pick out, what's going on in the world in that area. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it at
No
all
shit.
because they show like people's faces blown off,
yeah,
their
you don't want to
legs.
see
and-
that shit. It's real.
yeah, it's super real. But it took me like looking that up and playing that and really consuming it to be like, the next time I go to complain, just pull that shit up. Like you have no reason to complain if you're not doing. I mean,
And,
you
like,
know
at
what I mean?
least you got a face.
Yeah. It's just baffling. But I
I
guess,
mean, you have some reason to complain.
do you though?
Yeah. Because, I mean, even if somebody has it worse, that doesn't mean that what you're going through doesn't suck.
You know, that's something I always, I weigh that option. Like, we're all suffering,
Yeah.
technically, because this is life and we all suffer, right? It's just different levels of suffering. Do we all have the right to complain?
Yeah.
So you can complain if you want, but like suck it up and like
Yeah, I mean,
move on at a certain
Complain reasonably, not like, oh, I'm going to complain. Give me this.
point. Right.
It's just, complain, but keep in mind that some people have it worse. 'Cause otherwise, it's just, all right, well, let's find out objectively who's suffering the most.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that can complain. Everybody else shut the fuck up.
Right.
We,
They got like a scale.
Some of the motivational people I listen to, I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me, but he said that he wrote a post. He did a blog. He runs like a blog site or whatever, but he made a post where he was like, if I was on the highway and I get like boxed in, a car in front of me, a car on the left, and a car on the right, and a drunk driver comes up from behind me and hits me, kills my family, I wouldn't blame the drunk driver because I'm going to take responsibility for what happened and I'm going to move on. So instead of like blaming or talking like, blaming that other person and blaming everybody else for your issues or your problems, to just accept responsibility for life in general and move the fuck on.
That
Figure
was
out how to fix it. And people
that-
got fucking
In that
irate about
instance
it.
in particular, I feel like he's an idiot.
Dude, that,
I mean,
for a minute
like
I
his
was like,
mentality, but that instance in particular is just stupid.
yeah, that went like crazy far, crazy quick, and people were upset about it like crazy.
I get like the point, but that was one of my big issues with AA, like going through all the steps. It's one of the steps is you have to write down like essentially everything you can think of like how someone has wronged you and then what's your role in it. So cool. A lot of times you have a role,
Yeah.
but not always. And I'm
Yeah.
not fucking taking responsibility for that shit. I can move on and get over it, but I have nothing to do with it other than being fucking present.
Like,
No,
yeah.
I don't take responsibility.
The
for
idea
that.
of sitting in traffic,
Yeah.
just sitting there,
Yeah.
and a dude hits you, and you're like, oh yeah, this is what I did for this. I sat in traffic.
Right. Just
Still
like
gonna kill that fucker.
Just like us, like we stopped to help someone and got annihilated.
So here's the real
we
question.
didn't do anything wrong. We were doing something good, and I'd like to murder that truck driver.
Yeah, dude.
End of story.
Here's the real question. Say you have a 2-year-old, 3-year-old,
You have a 2-year-old.
can't run,
3-year-old,
right? You're going to have to
yeah,
pick
leave
his
that
ass
bitch.
up, right? Say a bomb goes off behind you.
Right.
Fires everywhere, all the way around you, right?
Yeah.
You have to get away and you have to survive. But your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, they can't run. They can't do nothing. So either you have to grab them by the wrist and drag them, you got to pick them up. Either way it goes, they're a burden. Do you leave them behind or do you die with the kid?
Leave them behind.
Mine.
You couldn't pick up a 3-year-old?
No, I'm saying if you
like
pick
other
them
shit
up,
going
you die
on, I
too.
mean-
Like if you pick them up and then everybody's running and then you get trampled because you're going a little slower than the crowd because you have a 3-year-old strapped to your back.
No, say you have to carry everything that you own, and you have to have all these things. And you have to pick up the kid. I'm leaving that bitch. I'm leaving the
Is
very
it you or
first
the
second.
kid? You know what I
When
mean?
it comes to instincts and what you would do in a moment like that, you can't really know. I think my instinct would be to try.
At least a little bit. So
Yeah,
maybe
it
Pick it
does
up
seem
and carry
reasonable,
it.
but
I mean, what if I could get away? There's no way of knowing in
Without
an instant
trying.
if you were going to be able to get away with them or not.
well, I mean, in this instance, you know for a fact that you can't get away if you pick them up. So
Leave them.
yeah, I mean, intellectually, leave them, fuck them. But at the same time, it's like, is it really worth living?
If
in
you
that type
let your
of world
child
and
die.
shit. Like,
I mean, at
you're
all.
off.
But yeah,
at all.
And I think that, if the kid was older, hell yeah. Because, I mean, if you're in that type of world, like, the kid can actually be helpful. I mean, I would say even as early as, like, 6 or 7, kids are very helpful and very resourceful. Cool. You need to figure out how to get the kid because you need as much help as you can get. But,
Yeah.
it's like farmers
years
in the old
old?
days having a bunch of babies.
yeah.
We need somebody to swing that shit.
Or if all else fails, cut them up and cook them. You know what I mean? That's good
Is it-
meat.
Yes.
So it's like it's the idea of, like with, basically any kind of movie or TV show where somebody uses someone that they love against, like, say like we're in a shitty situation and somebody comes up and puts a gun to your head, And they're like, oh, I need you to do this. And otherwise, it'd be like, fuck you, kill me. But they're like, we're going to kill Casper. I'd be like, there's a weakness. Maybe leave the kid so you have fewer weaknesses.
Right?
So nothing to hold against you when your back's against the wall.
Because I think of that movie, The Road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he has that kid with him, and then like all these people are just horrible to kids. It's like, well, you lose the kid, you'll probably survive. More food for yourself, less ways of hurting you.
It just makes you wonder. Like you see antelope and shit in the wild, and when they're running, if their young one gets eaten, they don't go back to the tiger and be like, "Hey, man, that's my kid."
I can't believe you would do that.
They just keep running, and they're like, one down. Like the herd's a little thinner now.
That's the point of the herd. Mm-hmm. If there's enough of them, they'll keep surviving.
Right.
But if there's only like one or two of you, you're probably both gonna die in a situation like that. But if there's 20 of you, one or two dies, the herd still lives on.
Stay at the front and the middle, and you're fine.
Yeah, dude. I would definitely stay in the middle, probably. Not at the front. You never know. You trip one time, you're done, Not only do you get trampled, but then you get eaten. Fuck that.
Ooh, sounds terrible.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. But just thinking about something that would happen like that, I'm like, well, I would hope that I would survive, but if not, then I probably didn't deserve to survive anyways. On the other hand, all these people who prep and shit, I don't understand that, because who would want to survive in a world that is toxic, a world that is burning, a world that is
I think it might
underwater?
be kind of fun. That's why you just have a means of exiting when you want to.
It's human nature to want to survive.
That's what always bad. I don't think you can fight the want to survive. And most people who say, oh, well, I'm comfortable with the thought of death, I'm comfortable with death, I'm comfortable with suicide, I'm comfortable, are actually, when the cards are on the table, they want to survive.
I mean, it's biological to
so
want to
weird.
live.
Well, I think they're cool with death, but they're not cool with dying.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
for
most of us feel like dying would be very painful. In some instances, maybe it is, if it's torture, if it's prolonged. But the minute that you cross that fence into death, all that fades. So what was
Just
the...
like the Canada.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
You
just
got to
pick
build
it
it
up and
first.
move it over here now.
But you think about that, once
afterlife.
you pass that, it may be painful, but you have forgotten all that. Once you pass that into death, you're not, none of that mattered.
I mean,
None
you
of
can
this mattered.
intellectualize that, but what if I tie you down and pull out your teeth and then slowly kill you over 3
It's going to be
days?
fucking painful.
You're going to hate it.
I'm going to hate life. I'm going to be like, I want life, man.
In the middle of it, are you going to be thinking, well, once I'm dead, this won't be so bad? No.
Maybe I'd be praying for death
That
at that point.
I'd be
That
trying
reminds me
to
of-
get out of myself.
getting a tattoo. It's like, it sucks. This sucks a lot, but I mean, it's not going to suck tomorrow, and it's going to suck less
look
and
real
less.
good.
When it's over, it's
Yeah.
over.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and we do that. I mean, we do some fucked up shit to ourselves, and then, I don't know. That's, there's a big uproar about that Oklahoma county jail or whatever, that they took a hostage. And then the guy that was generally the, not ringleader of it or whatever, but anyway, somebody died in the course of it because they shot the guy who was like, this is my hostage, not yours. And they shot him and killed him. I wonder if anybody get an uproar about that. They didn't have to shoot him. I'm like, well, they took a hostage and they choked him a bunch and they put him in a corner and they beat him up. I'm like, I don't know if that doesn't call for somebody getting shot.
I don't care. Shoot them.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're like, they were in jail. How can you shoot somebody that wasn't armed? I'm like, I don't know. They took a hostage, man.
Yeah, don't act a fool. I don't give a shit where you are.
I know. That was so. It just reminded me though of the Capitol stuff. It's like people will say that the cops let them in and just open the barricade. Now I'm telling you this right now. I don't care what I'm protecting. If a mob of people come up to that gate and I'm protecting something, I'm gonna open the gate and be like, I'm not protecting it anymore.
Yeah, if it's
you can
mob
have it.
against me, for sure. I'm
Yes.
one person.
I'm gonna be like, the building's restricted at the moment. Not all the time, at the moment, because the votes are being counted. You know that, right? You can come in. I'll open the gate for you. Tell you it's okay. Don't harm me. I'm just a security guard that gets paid, $10 an hour, whatever
Not a
they
very
get paid
good
up there.
security guard.
Yeah. He's like, you can just have it. do you want my gun too? Because you can have that too.
See, if I had a gun, I would pull out my gun. I'd pull out the clip, and I would say, all right, I got 15 of these bullets. If you come through, I got one for you. Got one for you too. You people in the back, you might not get one. But do you two want to come
Definitely
through?
getting it.
And then when they're like, well, I'm going to go to the back. Somebody, who else wants in the front?
Yeah. Nobody.
Yeah.
There's just all backs at this point. But no,
And then
that's
I'd let them in.
That's if a mob's coming at me, I'm gonna let you in. So I think that's where that argument kind of gets shut down, is the fact that you're looking at an understaffed amount of security guards at the moment, and then they called in for backup. Nobody was there to back them up. So what are you gonna do? Like, the building's saying they're gonna charge them later, so they let them in. Same thing with this. Like, did you think you weren't gonna get shot at when you took a guard hostage, and then you let all the inmates in your dorm out to like fuck with this guy and party and like take video and shit? Somebody's getting shot.
I think we've hit
at
this
least with a
point
beanbag.
where it's like people try to put too much value on human life. It's like there's been so much shitty use of like force from authority, to where it's like, oh, now it's all bad. We have to value everybody.
Oh, like, yeah,
Instead
yeah,
of,
yeah.
hey, you're being a fuckface.
Yeah.
Let's just shoot you. So it's
Yeah.
like an over course correction.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Trying to make sense of it.
Okay.
Well,
Say it
I think,
again.
I think I know where you're going as far as like, because when you're scrolling down Reddit, right, and then there'll be like, well, this cop or whatever uses excessive force, and I'm like, I've been handled way rougher than that for way less. Especially after the dude called him a cocksucker and a bitch and a pussy, and you weren't gonna do shit because of your badge, and then the guy was finally like takes his badge off and then hits him in the mouth, and then somebody recorded it and stuff. I was like, there's a certain point where I don't know. I kind of agree with what you're saying, and I kind of don't. I think we need to crack down on them so that they know. But I think one cop I saw told a dude to like suck his dick. He's like, suck my dick. And that dude got fired, the cop did, for saying suck my dick. And I think that was just like in a moment of heat. Like, dude's like, I can't touch you because this person's recording, so suck my dick.
And that's ridiculous. Cops have shot and killed people and they didn't get fired. And this guy gets fired for saying suck my dick.
True.
That's absurd.
But that's
Well,
what
it's
I'm
because
saying.
that's obscene.
Oh, of course it is.
I think there's a rampant amount of authority, like beating the shit out of people, that they have to do the crackdown as far as that goes.
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of like, for example, there's somebody that's 100% pro-life. They're like, no abortions ever.
Yeah.
And then somebody on the other end is like, kill all babies. It's like they're both stupid, but you want to get to the middle ground. So it's
Right.
like, oh, all cops are bastards. All they do is abuse their power. They shouldn't shoot anybody. And it's like, the other end, they're acting up. Shoot everybody. They're both stupid. Just find the middle ground.
Find the middle ground. I think we do. And then I think I made a comment like last time about that I think we can all be more morally right, and we would weed out the assholes that create problems within our society. But then again, I'm like, I think we need a certain amount of authority to back up the people who are morally right and the people who are morally wrong. There has to be that mediator between the two.
Yeah.
But that mediator shouldn't cross the line into, just showing up or, a hair trigger reaction to something or whatever. They should be super on their shit and well paid for giving up their life for people in general.
Yeah.
But I think the minute they cross that line into fucking up, like there is no, we'll give you a second chance. We'll give you time off with pay. We'll give you this and that. We know you shot the guy and he was unarmed, but hey, shit happens. That I don't think that's a shit happens kind of place you can stand. You know what I mean? I think they need to be fired immediately because clearly they can't handle the
You
pressure.
have to have the balance and shit.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
there goes the middle ground.
Before we left the house today, I was watching some Alan Watts shit, and he was talking about how, with the light and the dark, like there's balance, and they're both one. So I mean, it's like you have the duality. It's like, the light and the dark, but they're the same entity. Like
Yeah,
a coin has the heads and the tails, but if the dark starts getting out of hand, then you're like, the light has to win. If the light goes wild, it's like, the dark, we need to throw some shit at the dark, make it stronger. Just find balance.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, when we were talking about like Manamar, you're seeing, I think, the dark win in that instance, because it's the same thing like Jordan Peterson talks about. When you put somebody in that authority position, it gets to their head very quick. It doesn't matter how morally right that person thought he was or he or she was when they first got into the position.
Yeah.
After you tell that person, hey man, this is our land, fuck them up, right? That person's going to be like, oh, I have all this power over people. Now I got a big head. Look at my ego go, right? So now you have people just riding past people, just blowing their head off for what? No reason at all, just blowing their head off. You're seeing the same thing that happened with Adolf Hitler, giving all those people power, and the people next to him were shooting and blowing people's heads off. So the other person was like, well, it gives them a God complex. It blasts their ego to pieces. So they're like, let's fucking do this. Yeah. And then after the fact, they're like, oh, I was wrong for that. Don't matter, bro. Like, you did it. So,
but this is a finite existence, and everybody dies. So who cares what happens?
Chaos.
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 How do you feel about chaos?
How do I feel about chaos?
Yeah.
We can't wait to find out.
I thought about
exists.
we were talking beforehand, and I saw on your Facebook that Smash Lab thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is a good player in that dark side of all of us, right? We all want to break shit. I'm sure it was super fun, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that fed into your dark? Like,
just tell the listeners what Smash Lab is.
I've never been.
Oh no, it's just this place you pay people to go to a room and break stuff.
Okay.
Do they get to play
kinds of shit.
Do you get to pick music that they play?
So they had like Bluetooth speakers that you could hook up to. And you could play whatever you wanted.
Give it
yeah.
to me.
That's so good.
Oh boy.
She hooked up her music to it, and she didn't have a playlist ready because it was a surprise.
Yeah.
She didn't know. Yeah. So.
That's all right though.
That would probably upset Ian and completely if I was like, surprise, Smash Lab, and he didn't have a playlist ready.
I have a playlist ready. It's 3 songs.
I know one day I'm going, so I'm going to be prepared.
Yeah.
Well, I always have in the back of my mind that I want to destroy things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm ready.
So, but I guess what I'm asking is like, I think I pretty much think everybody, even the nicest person I think you've ever met, would want to like break shit. You get all this built up stuff, especially people who do right pretty much by the world and make it through. We all have that little place in us that is fucking dark as a motherfucker, right? Do you think that helps? I don't know. I don't
kind of like subside that.
Does it help to feed it?
Yeah, that little dark spot.
She was going through something private, and I wanted to give her an outlet. I won't discuss here what she was going through.
But did it feel good for you? Did you like destroying things?
I liked the idea of I can't say too much.
No, that's straight.
Jesus Christ. Did you like breaking things?
Yeah.
Did it help feed the dark side of you?
No, I don't think it did.
Did it help in her situation or the person that was with you? Did it help their situation?
I hope so. I think so, yeah.
I think it would help, just those days where fucking nothing's going right and shit, or you dealt with a bunch of shit from your customers or whatever, and just going in there and just like wreaking havoc on some electronics, man.
Scientifically, they say it makes you more aggressive, though. It doesn't actually like release and make you feel better. Makes you more likely to be aggressive in other situations.
So are we to say like... I
think it's a great idea, though. I'm just saying. I'm supportive.
Like as far as talking about Manamar and then like Hitler and shit, do the people that do wrong, like I see you do wrong and I'm like, oh, fuck. Now I'm going to do wrong. And the more you do wrong, the more you want to do wrong. And it's a downhill effect where it's just like, the ball's rolling now. We can't stop it. Just might as well empty the clip.
Well, it seems like it's all connected to the thing of, like, if you don't do what you have the urge to do, it's just going to manifest itself in other ways. Mm-hmm. So if you embrace the destructive aspect of things, even if you feel the urge to be destructive later, if you put it into an avenue that's healthy, then you're fine. Rather than just ignoring it and hope it goes away. It's like if you throw, like with Bjorn, you put him in the basement whenever we leave. It's
I
like,
do
all right.
have to, yeah.
Yes. So it's like whenever he's down there, he's just like, oh, I'm gonna fuck shit up.
There's nothing for him
But
to
it
fuck
has
up
to be
down
done.
there,
That's what the argument with us being locked up and shit.
Right?
We always had the argument like if you lock somebody up for long enough, when you do let them out, they're going to be twice as bad when they
Yes.
get out than when they came in.
See, that's
They're
kind
pent
of
up.
where I was eventually gonna get with the Bjorn
Oh.
thing because he's down there and he's yelling and he's hitting on the door. He will block the door with my amp sometimes. But if you keep him down there long enough, suppressing your desires and shit, then you get out. The dog's just gonna fuck up everything upstairs.
Right.
So you got to release that shit.
I feel that.
So you
I
let
really
them
do.
outside before you bring them back in the house. Basement, outside, top floor. Boom.
Hey, I think there's two types of personalities in that. One that learns eventually, it's just something that's going to happen, and I better not end up in this place again. Now, for a dog, it's different because you're putting them down there no matter what, right?
Right.
But for a human, that your actions put you in that position. So you can get out and fuck shit up and live on that dark side, or you can be like, all right, man, probably need to suppress it a little bit. Maybe feed it every 5 years.
But see,
So it doesn't
even
become
with
a
this,
werewolf.
it's ideally people of intelligence. You could say this to them, but there are plenty of people. I've met some personally that can't read instructions and make sense of it.
Right.
So we can't expect those stupid fucks to make any sense of this.
Oh, yeah.
They're just gonna be like, "What? I didn't do anything. Why is this happening to me? Why does God hate me?"
Oh, yeah.
Probably because you're an idiot.
I know a lot of people that have been locked up for robbing somebody, for murder, and I think it's about it.
Murder.
Oh, assault. That were like, I didn't even do anything. One time, I won't say I mentioned that too much on the podcast, but
That time you
I
sucked a dick.
fucking helped this. I helped this guy
Yeah.
use the phone because a CO told me to. Then I found out what his crimes were. But the entire time that he was saying, trying to use the phone and couldn't figure it out, he was like, "It's not my fault. I didn't mean for it to happen." Blah blah blah. Later on, I found out that he beat the fuck out of a kid until the kid died. How the fuck is that not your fault? And why
Right.
the fuck did the CO make me help him use the phone?
Yeah,
Who
be
the
like,
fuck
you,
am I?
motherfucker. It's your job. I don't want to talk to him.
Well, he's like, I don't want to be tainted by helping this guy. You're
Yeah.
a criminal. You do it.
Yeah. But they
guys are
didn't tell
kin.
us. I didn't know until I saw the news later that night. And it was just I don't know, man. But there's a lot of people that get in that situation. And those other people that I mentioned that are just like, I didn't do it. I don't know why I'm here. I'm like, maybe, just maybe it's because you punched that lady in the face.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you did it, but I'm saying maybe the camera didn't lie this time.
Those
you know
cops
what
were picking on me.
I mean? Yeah.
There's a dude I work with. I was watching him on camera because he was just fucking up the whole time. And I told him to quit talking on the phone. And he was like, all right, cool. He hung up and he went back to talking on the phone. So I called him. I was like, stop talking on the phone. That didn't mean to continue. And he was all like, oh, man, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I was like,
I love that.
I watched you
Yeah.
for 10 minutes. And he was like, well, what am I doing now? I was like, you're holding the phone with your right hand and you're looking straight with your back to the wall.
Yes.
I watched you clicking through the cameras. He was like, oh, well, nah.
He just stopped him. He's like, I don't even know where to go with this now.
Yeah.
I found out early in life to not now especially if I was caught up doing some shit, I'd just be like, yep, you got me. At this point, here's you want me to put the handcuffs on myself or whatever. I'm down on my knee. You did, I did it. You know what I mean? But I can understand where it comes in a fit of when you're young, whatever that's called, in your adolescence, in that adolescent brain mixed with addiction, and you get a bunch of liars and cheats.
Well, yeah, whenever you're young, you have to test the waters. You have to find out what you can do.
Yeah.
But, as you get older, if you did something, defend yourself to the death. But if you, just...
I know, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah.
But I wonder, too, it always pisses me off when the cop is always like, if you tell us, we can help you. And they don't. I'm here to tell you right now, I've never told them, but I've seen guys who tell them. They don't show up in court. They don't write nothing in the report. They don't help you. The reason they're doing that is to get your confession.
Let this be a
bro.
public service announcement to our 20 listeners. Don't ever talk to the cops.
No.
Just say, I want to speak to a lawyer.
Immediately.
And then shut the fuck up.
Yep.
And then you'll be fine.
And just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That would save a lot of people.
It would. That's it's something I learned like extremely young is just shut the fuck up. Like just shut the fuck up. That's all you gotta do.
Just shut the fuck up.
It's so easy. But and they hate it too, man. Like they fucking hate it. The few times I did, and that's why I feel like the detective that was on like that stolen tool case, he didn't help because he was the cop that brought me in the first time I got locked up, and then he got bumped up to detective. I feel like that's why he didn't help me because I pretty much did that. I shut the fuck up. He couldn't get a confession. Then they got mad and then took me to jail. But always, man, I don't know. I don't understand.
Get in the car.
They're shady bastards, dude. All of them. Not all of them, maybe. I don't know. Some of them get in it for the right reason, maybe. I don't.
Yeah, some of them are good.
Maybe.
I don't know any.
No, I knew a few.
Yeah, there you go.
I
There's your
haven't
proof.
met one that wasn't a fucking,
mean,
loser
it's
in
just the
high school
idea
and wanted
that
to get back at people.
If we don't assume that there are some good ones, then you're the equivalent of a racist towards cops. And if we assume that racism is ignorant view of things, then so is hating all cops.
Oh,
This
absolutely.
world.
I mean, that's just grouping all of them together. If every single one of them is the same. Because I had a bad interaction with this one. Yeah. Well, and fuck, it just left my head. I'm so
There you
mad.
go.
While you're thinking about that,
Oh, I was gonna say back to yeah, shut up. It's not with this. It's with the talking to cops and stuff. Like even if you haven't done anything wrong, I
Yeah.
don't. If you're innocent, don't talk
Yeah.
without a lawyer.
shut the fuck up.
If you've done something wrong, don't talk without a lawyer.
They can get confessions out of innocent people.
Absolutely, it happens all the time.
Yeah, that's what that one fucking what the hell?
Making a murder.
No, that movie, the miniseries on Netflix.
Yeah, Making a murderer.
No,
Stephen
no,
Avery.
no, not that one. The one that
The
Oprah
other one.
produced.
Yeah.
About, like the true story, like
with the kids in New York.
yeah, like When They See Us, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid was innocent as fuck.
If you
Absolutely.
just
He
say
confessed
this,
to it.
we'll let you go home.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
say you did it.
Ain't
Just
that
say
fucked
did it,
You can
up?
go
and
home.
Ain't that fucked up? Because everybody and their mom wants to go home.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna say whatever you want me to, bro.
But at the same time, if you're stupid enough to talk to cops, fuck yeah, have fun,
There's
But
Rob.
if you're-
also like
if you're-
after it's so long of them like questioning you. I mean, they
You're
question some
exhausted.
people, for like
Hours.
23, 24 hours, and
You're
they're
exhausted. You're hungry.
Yeah.
You haven't slept.
you
ready
still-
to
Your
go.
brain's
Head down,
starting to turn
power
to
through.
mush.
Because whatever hell they put you through in that 48-hour time, way better than the 6 years after.
Yeah, no
Think
shit.
about how many innocent people they locked up before DNA. Like 2000s was like the shit. You had all these cold cases getting taken care of. The Golden State Killer got fucked up in 2000 because DNA had reached a point where they could test it. Back in the day, they used to just take DNA, and then when they took it to court, they were like, "Oh, you're O positive. It was O positive." Not saying you're the same person, but the same blood. So you're locked up. Didn't think about before that when they didn't collect blood and they were just doing good police work. How many motherfuckers they locked up that were innocent, just sitting rotting away in jail, and that cop felt good about himself, and the detectives, the high fives, they were like, "We did it!"
Is
And
it
you put a bunch of innocent people to death. They're still letting innocent people off death row because, like, their DNA exonerated them, or the trial was fucked up, or whatever. Like, this system has been broken for a very long time. They're just trying to like force it
what
through.
system
Like,
would be better, though?
the system would be great if it was the checks and balances were better. If the detective work was better. If
Just
we
need some tweaks.
yeah, I think the system itself sounds good on paper, but none of them read the paper. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
nobody's
So the
following
system
the
is
line.
fine. It's just the abuse of the system by the people that work it.
And
Yeah.
human error.
Okay, then how do you fix the system
Kill all the
to
humans.
to correct human error?
Kill the humans.
Sometimes-
Robot overlords.
Then we need no
some-
system.
sometimes mistakes are going to happen. I think that's just expected. Like you can't. It's not going to be 100% ever, no matter what the system is.
So they
But if
fucking
you've got
do-
a
I mean-
big
well-
enough ego to think that you're always right because you're
And there's
Yeah,
a lot
so
of
you
cops that do
remove
it.
that person because
person's
fuck that
out.
person.
But definitely be willing to like when I drilled a hole through a guy's roof one time, right? Dude would have never noticed it. It was maybe like 3/8 of an inch wide, right?
Yeah.
Never noticed it. And I felt like shit. He was selling the house. I was like, he'll never know. He's selling the house. They'll have to deal with it. I could just walk away. Sure enough, I tucked my tail and I go to talk to him. Worst thing ever. In the last 14 years, I've never fucking drilled a hole through somebody's roof when I was fishing wire, right? But I told him, and I was like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do everything in my power to fix it. I apologize. I'm sorry. And anything you need beyond this, if the house goes up for sale and they want you to put a whole new section on or whatever, I'll do it, right? Mm-hmm. And I went with that information. I was willing to take the hit, right? I was willing to build a whole new roof, whatever, right? And in that, he was like, oh, no, just, patch the hole and just send me a picture of it. I'm like, dope, I'm doing that, right? Yeah. But if more people were willing to accept that they fucked up and do everything they can to fix it, we'd have a different world. If everybody was morally right. I don't know what the fuck. I'm done.
Yeah. If people would stop being immoral assholes, life would be great.
But
that'll never happen.
With yin and yang.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a coin with only one side.
Indeed.
Got him with his own fucking euphemism.
That's right. Got him.
Hey, did you see the robot dogs in New York? They're implementing the robot dogs that you've seen on
are these those fucked up ones that you can't knock over and
Yes.
they can chew through tanks and shit?
Yes. They're using those dogs, man. Did you not
For
know
what?
that?
I don't even know what that is.
Just patrolling. They have
no.
cameras on them. They're if you've ever seen them, they're weird looking. They look like out of a fucking sci-fi movie. But now New York is using them to patrol streets and shit like that. I don't know for real what the purpose of them.
Do they report to a human?
But yeah, I'm sure they report.
I think it's just a security camera that walks.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty much. I
You
think it's
can't
where they're at.
destroy. Yeah.
But I mean, can they
Interesting.
attack?
That's what
No,
I'm thinking.
no,
If it can chew through a
I
tank,
think they can.
Oh, I just made that
if
up.
they
I'm sorry.
have to.
I think they will. If they have
I
to,
figured it was an exaggeration, but I thought there might be some kind of validity to it.
I just
didn't put
assume
that
if they're going to
information
use
out
them,
there.
they can attack in some way.
Yeah.
I feel like it might kick you or some shit, but it's not like they put teeth on it or
Because I'm just waiting
Or
for
a
it to
rocket
go
launcher.
awry and
Yeah.
get an innocent person, and then it becomes like,
So we need to buy one of these dogs and then
For sure.
battle it,
Into
like
the-
just one-on-one battle it and see if we can.
who's
Right?
going to have battle it?
Me or Sarah,
Yeah, I'll
We'll take the
definitely
weakest.
battle
Go,
a robot
Sarah.
dog. Yeah, that's right.
and then we're gonna.
Do I
see,
get a weapon?
No. This is hands-on.
like
Hand
a-
to hand.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's indestructible, I should get a weapon.
Yeah, but you're only
If it's
looking at like
It
indestructible,
won't
good's
be a
weapon.
tank.
you're only looking at like electronics.
Protection.
You can have a tank if we can
And-
find one.
Okay.
What?
What?
Oh, now it's what? Now it's what?
Yeah.
No, we
You're
don't
not
give
looking
a
at it a little
shit.
bit, man. It has to have a weak point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a wire you can pull, something like that.
Kick
you
it
know?
in the nuts. I bet that's its weak point.
Kick it in the nuts.
Yeah.
Are we to assume that all robot dogs are men?
The
Yep.
women
Mel?
dogs aren't going to do anything because they're
I
bitches.
said men. Like
That's
men
right.
would be a person. Mel or what is
Dog
Mel?
jokes.
X Y X Y Y X. I don't know. What is considered male? X?
That's why.
Yeah, I think
XY.
it's XY.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we to assume that this dog is XY? Is that what we're to assume now?
Yeah.
Look, I wanted to say this about 45 minutes ago. Did you know that Alex Jones is he had like a lawsuit against him because of him saying that Sandy Hook didn't happen.
yeah.
He has to pay.
Yeah.
He's got, which I don't think it's set in stone yet that he has to pay anything, but I know he has a lawyer and he's fighting that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was crazy.
You know, they're trying to bring him down.
I mean, how in the world? I mean, it's a rude thing to say, definitely, but
Well,
he can say
the
whatever he
peop-
wants.
Yeah,
I think
why
it's-
is it illegal?
Absolutely.
I think it's the people that he influenced and the people that, he had a reach of, millions of viewers that actually went down and harassed
Yeah.
victims and victims' families.
and there were people accusing him of telling his listeners to assault the
Yeah.
people, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Well,
But
that's
see, if
what
he
I think.
didn't say that shit, I mean, it's just like Trump and the riots.
I
He
was about
didn't
to
get in
say,
trouble,
He
so
didn't get in trouble for
they're
saying
locking up
things
people. Yes.
and other people doing it.
Well, I don't think you should unless you have your people directly and you say, on October the 10th, we're going to fuck this up.
Yeah.
Beyond that, it's just you talking shit. And then you can
Right,
make
yeah.
connections that aren't necessarily there.
Yeah, and who are we to say that the president of the United States at the time isn't allowed to talk a little shit?
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
Like,
He's the president.
mob mentality. Like, if he's let's say he's at a rally, and then people immediately after the rally get all whipped into a frenzy and do shit, yeah, charge him.
Yeah.
It's inciting, whatever. But if he's talking and he's like being recorded, and then somebody sees the recording, and then they go out and do something thoughtfully afterwards, that's on them.
That's
That's like
unknown.
a band getting in trouble for releasing a song about murder, and then someone murders somebody
Right.
after listening to
Oh,
it.
man.
A band wouldn't get in
Maryland.
trouble.
Damn, dude.
I do have mixed
That's so
feelings
sad.
about
Or writing a book.
the Trump thing.
Yeah.
Alex Jones, I think, is ridiculous that he would
Yeah,
ever
that-
get in trouble.
Right?
And Trump, I feel like he was egging people on for months and months and months, and they like picked a day and a time, and
Yeah.
we're gonna do this, and then he goes and just doesn't say anything specific. So like he was riling people up for months
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
years.
I was thinking you could say years.
Yeah. Him, I
feel-
have kind of a different.
I don't know,
feeling
man.
about.
Yeah, and that's, you know what it comes down to, right? I give it up to every one of those writers, and you know why? Same reason why I said that I agreed with the writers of Black Lives Matter, even though there were protesters doing it the right way, and you had writers. You fuck with people long enough, they're gonna break shit.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
They're fighting for what they believe in.
You fucking push them back into a corner. You fucking put them in poverty. They're gonna break shit
Yeah.
when they get a chance. You hear me?
Because
Yeah.
nobody's
So-
listening to them.
Nobody's
Being
listening.
polite
Yeah.
and
So-
trying to take the proper channels.
Right, because I'm sure that a vast majority of Black Lives Matter or feminist movements, any of that, have tried to take the channels.
Yeah.
Right? Have tried to write the president, have tried to write the mayor, have
Yeah.
tried to fill out the fucking paperwork.
Right.
Haven't done it. Right? Nothing happens. So what are you going to do? I'm going to break your shit. You hear me? I'm going to break it.
Take
Yeah.
to the streets.
Yeah, dude. And I
I'll
don't,
listen to that.
I don't
Hell
fucking-
yes.
I don't blame them at all. That's why I told you. And people can say what they want. I have customers that disagree like a motherfucker, but I'm like, I agree with the rights. If they break my shit, I have insurance. So do all those other businesses, right?
Yeah.
For this specific thing. And all those insurance companies came out with a riot applicant clause where you could buy into the right. Cool. I'll pay the $1.75. Fuck the van up. I don't give a shit. You know, because I understand where the oppression leads to. Fuck this. I'm going to break your shit, right? Same with the writers, right? Maybe I don't agree with it so much as far as like the basis of it, but every one of those people in that audience felt like they were fighting for something. Isn't that what we're made of?
Yeah,
Like,
there are some of those people that just have a shit life and they're using that as an excuse.
yeah, well, you're going to
But-
have
Like those
that.
people are
Yeah.
always everywhere.
They're going to take advantage of
They're-
it.
they're
But then
over
whenever
lurking.
they're blending in, though, it reduces the legitimacy of a cause.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it should be on the the people that are rioting legitimately to weed out those people.
Yeah,
It's
I
in their
think,
best interest, because
yeah.
otherwise
They do their
you're kind of
best.
fucked.
I was gonna say, I think if you let it go on long enough, that the writers that are there for the cause
Yeah.
will definitely weed those people out.
I think
It's
it
like
also-
the person that the dude drove up, right? Or the two white people that Black Lives Matter threw out because they were carrying bricks around, and they were like, "You're not gonna fucking do that," whatever. The guy that pulled up and put a firework in the middle of the protest and was like gonna blow shit up. The rioters fucking grabbed the thing, throw it back in the guy's car, and close the door and let it blow up in the car. So, you know what I mean? I think eventually they're gonna weed those people out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, like, this is what the fuck we're made of. And this is why we are separate and we're not a monarch and we're not ruled by anybody, because we fight for shit. So don't cry to us and lock us up. That's cool, because I fought for something. Lock me
Yeah.
up. I'm
I'll-
good with it.
I'll serve my time. That's fine.
But you're going to know, because all these other people are going to fuck your shit up. I'm telling you.
That's
You know,
awesome.
you can only kill a certain amount of people before they start fucking your shit up
Again,
again.
it comes back to the idea that if you're not focusing your violence on the people that are actually making life terrible, you're not going to do any good, because then you just look like the asshole out there raiding Target while the guy that's writing the laws of oppression is sitting in his fat house not getting fucked with.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's, ooh, we're making a point. We're flexing our muscle. We're angry. Take it out on the people that are doing it to you. Retards. God.
What if LGBTQ plus Black Lives Matter, the feminist movement, name like whatever, all the Trump supporters, right? What if everybody got together and was like, look, check this out. Let's all work together and fuck this up, right? Let's work together and make change ourselves. Let's stop fighting. Let's stop putting ourselves in groups and then we fight separate wars, because when it comes down to it, we're fighting the same system. The same corrupt, fucked up system with the people that are in their mansions not giving a fuck about what's going on here, that release the military when it gets too wild. Let's fucking make a difference.
What are they going to call themselves?
Dude, I don't even know.
And then you're going to end up with a Sunni and Shiite thing to where it's like, oh, we're all Muslims, but this riot is brought to you by Black Lives Matter. No, it's LGBTQ.
Oh, because
we want rights for these people. We want rights for us. We want rights for everybody, but our name needs to be on it.
You have people that want credit.
Defenders 8. That's what it'll be called.
You got to have your name on it.
I believe in that cause.
I know, dude.
It's like great. A lot of people will do something for the betterment of society with their name on it. You know what I mean? And then get mad when, it's a group effort. Nobody wants a group effort. People want the glory themselves. Yeah. And that's where you run into an issue of that. Like, everybody wants to make the change.
Yeah.
But
I
not
want my
together.
name on the change.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough people that want to work together. And then we get in tribalism, and then we only stick to our groups. Could you imagine LGBTQ? Sorry, I keep fucking it up.
The lug
pairing
boats.
with Trump supporters. What a world! That is true, meshing, and not to leave Black Lives Matter out. I mean, imagine that meshing of all those groups. The government would fucking freak out. Like, oh shit!
Oh yeah!
Oh shit! Like, they're not divided anymore. What do we do? Call Russia. What do we do? We need tips.
No one cares about their differences anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely divided on purpose.
Unleash the alien attack.
I don't know.
Get the robot dogs.
Dude, in that instance, if in that moment, I would be happy as a motherfucker if everybody got together like that, and all the religious groups. Let's put it, put that in there too, and then everybody got together and like, look, we're gonna overthrow the system, and then just make new. And it's not gonna be like Rick and Morty where they make the same exact system they just overthrew.
Right.
Yeah. Like, people make change, and they force the government to make change together, because it says it on your fucking dollar bill that divided we fall. I don't know if it says it on the dollar bill, but
I think it does.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know.
United we stand, divided we fall. I don't know if it says it on the dollar bill. It says it somewhere.
Yeah,
I know
even if it doesn't,
somewhere.
it's there in principle.
But I'm telling you, it said it on the motherfucking paperwork when you were born. Like, and you're still going to divide yourself 1,000,000 times plus.
Hell yeah, 1,000,000 times plus.
It don't matter what it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to divide from you just because
you're a man
I
and
can.
I'm a woman.
You got long hair. I got red. Fuck you.
You don't know anything about my hair. You don't know me.
But when that day
We are
comes,
not the same.
when that day comes,
Divided.
when all of them get together and fight,
Yeah.
just watch the fucking government shiver.
Oh,
They're
it's
gonna
be
shit
a
their
fun-
goddamn pants.
It's gonna be a
The
fun
government
day.
won't care.
Get out of
Maybe.
here. If we all rise up together, we better watch out. Look, FBI, we're joking. Government, we're joking. This is
Yeah,
just
we're not
hypothetical.
rising up to do shit. We get together to talk and then eat dinner together. We're not rising up.
And we
as
don't.
long as
We're
you
not
don't come
trying
to
to.
our house.
And we're not trying to incite anybody else to rise up. We're just saying how cool and neat a beautiful world like that would be if we could all just get the fuck along.
But it would be great though if people could unite. I'd be cool with uniting. You don't have to rise up and overthrow your government. But
Could you imagine
Can you
Black Lives
just
Matter
be-
with Trump supporters? Could you imagine them getting along?
it'd be powerful. It'd be
That would be. That would be.
in terms of energy.
I would just start crying and just fall down and start having a seizure if that happened.
The Grey's Anatomy
so
song
happy.
would come on behind it, and it would make me cry.
I'd be so happy, dude.
He played it on piano, then I asked him to play the actual song, and then he played it on guitar, and I cried all 3 times. It's so just beautiful. All I could imagine was one specific person dying. I could imagine the scene, and it made me really, really sad. I won't say who, though.
Hang on.
All right.
Cool.
I got a notification from Google during
No, you
this.
didn't.
fuck.
From people.com.
Oh,
people.
Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker enjoy a double date with Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly in Vegas.
Well, that sounds like a terrible time.
I
Yeah.
did not recognize.
This explains why. What?
Didn't recognize very many of those names.
This explains why Blink's last album was garbage, and the next one's probably
Yeah,
gonna
look
suck
who he's
too.
hanging out with.
Mhm.
What happened to the transplants, dude?
Yeah. God.
Damn it.
That's gone. Because let me tell you this, motherfucking Travis Barker is playing on everybody's CD. He's a feature. Name the band. He's a feature on it.
Yeah.
He's a feature
He's-
on fucking, I don't know.
Everything.
Dave Matthews has a feature with fucking.
He's an excellent drummer, but he does need to rein it in.
I mean, he's just on everything now.
You want drums? That's how anybody can get like instant clout. Oh, I got
Yeah.
Travis on it. Yeah, but he's on everybody's shit.
There's a song he just come out with Atreyu, right?
Oh.
Which nobody's heard of in fucking 10 years, right?
God.
Just
Right.
come out with a new song.
Yeah.
He's not even in the video. They said featuring Travis Barker, not even in the video, right? There's a slight drum roll in the back. You can hear it like a marching band style.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the feature. He's not in the video.
That's
Yeah.
absurd.
He
Dude. That's
doesn't
just
say
selling
anything.
your soul. I mean, I'm all
The original
for.
drummer's drumming, and he's just doing like a little.
I'm all for like being on everybody's shit. I think that would be pretty cool. You could play all different types of music,
Right.
but that's absurd. That is selling out. If you ever want to know what selling out is, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck a
Drum
Atreyu.
roll.
Atreyu, bro.
They
Like when I
suck.
saw it, I was like, I'm in disbelief.
Travis Barker's the only one that can do this tight ass roll.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's
And it
fucking
didn't.
ridiculous.
I don't think it technically. The song could have done without it. It was like the drummer.
Of course it
on
could.
top
It was
of
a
like,
roll.
and I was just like,
Hey, sometimes a roll is important.
not in this
Not
one.
this one.
Yes.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Family, damn family.
Jamly. Yeah.
All right, man. That was wildly uninteresting episode 100. Damn, it's gonna be weird to say 100 with the beautiful. I will say it again. Thank you so much, Casper, for coming on the show. It was very nice to have you. Haven't had you in like, damn, it's been weeks, months,
Damn.
Weeks.
A
Damn.
few weeks.
Few weeks. It's a long time.
God, we haven't
no.
seen you in 16 hours. It's been too long.
It's greatly appreciated. One of these times, we're gonna have to have.
I know.
Why did
We
I
need
just
to
forget
watch
it?
that because it's going to fall.
I know it's all good. Chaos.
Chaos reign.
Well,
Anyway.
give us a listen. We can't guarantee that it'll make you happy, but we can guarantee it'll piss you off. So
Yeah, it's gonna piss somebody off. That's for sure.
Listen to us or eat shit.
yeah.
But no,
shit
thank
if
you
you
again
listen
for
to
listening. If you made it this far, we greatly appreciate it. Seriously, it's an honor to have 20. It's an honor to have one. So thank
Thanks,
you for
Couch and
listening.
Kristen.
Yeah, I was just wondering if Kristen was going to be on next week.
Yep.
Maybe.
And I was
Cheers.
thinking, fuck both of them.
Yeah. Fuck them both.
Stupid married pussies.
You
All right,
can't come,
man.
Kristen. We're having dinner.
Thank you for listening. It's another episode. Wildly Uninteresting Podcast.
Skibbity-bop-bop.
I didn't even say podcast.
An American girl.
Oh, the name I was thinking of is
You
Shelby.
bitch.
Sorry. Shelby. One of these times we're going to have Shelby. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Whoop, 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 whoop. Wildly
Skibbity-bop.
Uninteresting Podcast.
Skibbity-bop.
Sorry, Shelby. I forgot. It's all the drugs I've done in life.
Yeah, the Mac-